Joining us now, Democratic Senator of Michigan, Elissa Slotkin. Senator, it's good to have you here, and I want to start with that breaking news. What's your reaction to these new revelations about the files? And if there has been selective release in defiance of the law, what can be done about that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it surprises anyone that the Department of Justice selectively released documents, right? The Trump administration has just religiously pushed back against releasing these documents. We had to pass a bipartisan law in order to get them released. And so it's not a surprise that they went in and edited that. And the administration is acting like an administration that is wants to hide something. So, and the average American can feel that. You don't have to be, someone here in Washington. We passed a law. Republicans crossed the aisle to vote on it. And I think now it's going to be a court issue. I mean, if they don't release things, then they're going to be taken to court, and eventually these things will have to come out. But he's certainly acting like someone who's guilty of something by just refusing to release things. So he might as well just do it.
So what do you think is going on at DOJ?
I mean, look, you're talking to someone who 2 weeks ago was wondering if I was going to be indicted on criminal charges for a 90-second video that I made back in November. The Department of Justice took myself and others to the grand jury, and unanimously the grand jury said there's nothing to see here. But man, I mean, I think the Department of Justice is just doing the bidding for Donald Trump. Donald Trump has political enemies. He has things he wants to have done or not done, and they're just doing his bidding. And I think that's something that for most Americans, maybe they see it as far away, but when the justice system is weaponized against your adversaries, that is just something that kicks off a cycle that is it's hard to break once it begins. So I don't think the average American supports that. We shouldn't be politically going after enemies with the state.
Well, NBC News is reporting that U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro's office has decided to stop pursuing the case against you and 5 other Democratic lawmakers. As people know, you guys urged members of the military and intelligence communities not to comply with unlawful orders. That reporting, according to 3 people familiar with the matter, is that your understanding? Has this been dropped? What's your reaction to the news?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've seen in press, but I want to see it in writing. They took it to a grand jury. A grand jury unanimously said this is freedom of speech. Members of the country, it doesn't have to be a senator. Citizens can say what they would like as long as they don't threaten violence. It's freedom of speech. So it came back unanimous. So they apparently have decided to sit on it. But I don't believe for one second that if Donald Trump got upset and told Jeanine Pirro to go do his bidding again, they'd not, start up again. So I'd like to see it in writing, and I'm certainly keeping my options open. They forced us to get lawyers, defend ourselves, spend money, take time away from our work to do this. So there should be accountability for that. But in the meantime, I don't believe a press story to be the end of the story.
All right, let's talk about the speech tonight. Democrats have different plans for how to protest the State of the Union. Some are staying away completely. There are some who are holding a kind of counter event. But it's clear Democratic leaders are hoping to avoid a repeat of some of the rowdier aspects we saw last year, lawmakers with paddles, and then this moment with Al Green.
That's your warning. Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session.
You are, as I understand, Senator, planning to attend tonight's address. Did you think about staying away?
Last year I gave the response to the State of the Union, and I did that from Michigan, so I wasn't in the room last year. I was watching it live on TV and then responding to it. Look, State of the Union is a long tradition in our country. Donald Trump won the state of Michigan just as I did on the same ballot, so I'm going to go. That doesn't mean I'm going to agree with, I'm sure, much of what he has to say, but I'm going to go just as I've gone to his State of the Union responses before. And I think that, the country, that video shows you a country that is really struggling right now, right? We're struggling, and it's coming out, it's pouring out of us. But I love my country. I want it to get better. I don't want it to be ill. And so I want to be a part of it getting healthy again. And to me, going to something that is a tradition that started long before Donald Trump and will go on long after him is something I plan to do on behalf of my state.
And since you did give the Democratic response last year, let me ask you about Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger, who will do it tonight, someone you came into Congress with. I wonder if the two of you have spoken at all about this and what you're expecting.
Yeah, we have. We were texting even today, and I'm really proud of her. I think she's the right person to give the response. She's a serious person, just won a big election. That matters. Winning matters. And I think, she'll probably do what a lot of us have tried to do, which is focus on, what he said he was going to do for the American people. He said, keep book on this man. He said he was going to lower your costs. And is there any American who can say today, a year later, your food costs, your electricity costs, your housing costs, your health care costs are down? Is there a single person? I don't see it. And for me, he's become a foreign policy president and a president that's corrupt and using the levers of power to earn money for his family. And I think she should highlight that and focus on that and do it in the style that I know she can do it in, which is very powerful.
Senator Elissa Slotkin, thank you. Much appreciated.